I wanted to report something on behalf of the entire country. Yesterday you held those roses and you prayed for the people of India and people of Pakistan.
Yes.
And this was around 10 o'clock in the morning. Before 8 o'clock in the evening they released our soldier and a war has been averted between the two countries.
This is beautiful.
Thank you so much.
This is beautiful.
We were coming very close.
And may there never be one.
Inshallah.
May there never be one.
Okay, please bless me that I go home before I go home tomorrow.
We understand what that means? She said, please bless me that I go home before I go home. Actually, one person did say, many years ago, one man, he came to Satsang. One man came to Satsang, and I had not seen him before. And he came. This is in my small apartment in London, and this man said, "Can I see you?" This man said, "Can I see you privately?" And I was not so much wanting to do a private meeting, no? But then, So you remind me of something, because one man came to my small apartment some years ago, and he said to me, can I have one-to-one with you? And I was a little bit reluctant, because many people were asking for this thing. So I said, I pulled him aside and said, why you want one-to-one? He said, well, actually, it's my first time coming here, but one of your students is a nurse in the hospital, and the doctors in the hospital, they told me that I have a very short time to live. And I've come to you because I want to die before I die. He said like that, no? And of course, you understand what he meant, no? Yeah, he said, I want to die before I die. It was very, very sober request, He was not emotional or anything like that. And but I was so deeply touched, because I've never heard anybody speak like that, I would want to see you one-to-one, because I want to, I want to die before I die. So then I understood that, he doesn't want to leave his body with ego. Please help me to be free of my ego. Then I can leave my body, it is good, but I don't want to take it to another birth, And so this is how my connection started with him. And we spent many times speaking about these things, like we share here in Satsang. Then that moment came. He left his body some years ago. And, it's funny we are speaking like that, about this thing. Because you had just been sharing, Malini was just sharing that her Guruji said to them that I want to make an exercise with his group of his students. And the exercise was like this. He say, for how long it should go? 1 month. For 1 month, you must take this exercise very, very diligently and practice it. So what is the exercise? 2 things. One is that you must live as though you don't have tomorrow. You don't have tomorrow. So all your interactions with beings must be on this basis, that you don't have another day. And your attitude towards them also is that they don't have more than another day. And that should affect the way that you relate, to each other, no? And I felt it's just a wonderful exercise, no? As a matter of fact, this is how Path came here today, This is Papaji's great-grandson. And he come because he's studying, at university, engineering, but he also one of the pleasures is to play basketball. And he was looking forward to basketball, but the rest of the family coming here. And then Mom said to him, this is the exercise, you see. What if you only had today, not tomorrow? And then he said, then I wouldn't want to be going to basketball. So that's how he came today. You see? Now you are saying, she came to me just now and said, please let me go before I go. Is that you said like this? Because leaving soon. I'm going home tomorrow to Bangalore. No? Where? Huh? Oh, you're going to the U.S.? Okay, wherever it is. I'm going there. I want to go home before I go home. We understand what it means or not? You know, when you say something like that, you must have full meaning behind that. You should not say that just casually, you know, oh, let me go home before I go home. Let me die before I die. No, it must have some, you must already reflect on what you're saying so that when you put that forward, you know, it has a power, you know. And whoever you say that to must and will accept your words like this is a very deep and sincere prayer. They cannot just make a joke of it and say, don't worry about it. No, it says, you are serious about that? And what has to happen if you say, I'm leaving tomorrow to go home, to my physical home, but I want to go home in my heart. Before I get on any plane, I want to go home. That's a very strong thing, you know? So I just wanted to bring it back in focus. What you mean when you say that, you see? Is it just a flippant statement? Is it just an emotional expression? Or is it a deep yearning inside your heart? You know? And then, that's very strong. I said, who is approaching anybody like that? I don't know. So what my word would be, don't speak to me casually like that. Huh? Because I want to, when I speak with you, we don't waste our words. We are not just being social. It's not a social encounter, no? It is like something of depth, you know? This going home or dying before I die is not a horrible thing. It's the most beautiful thing. But mind is feeling, it sees it in a very superficial way. I say superficial if you mean, what? You know, to die before I die means to be free from bad thoughts, wrong concepts. No? And so that when you're on the plane, it doesn't matter if it feels the plane is going down, it's okay. I've made my peace with God, it's okay. Then whatever happens is will of God. I wouldn't even say it's bad now. Is it good or bad? That doesn't matter. Will of God is will of God. Whatever happens, you know you're right because that is your attitude, no? So to reach such a place of certitude in your own heart, no, means you have transcended your mind. Because the mind is going to make us feel always afraid, insecure, postponing, you know. Again, just discouraging a deeper understanding, always wanting to be a superficial life, you know. So when you...
lot of clarity yesterday, Mooji, when you were clarifying for one of the first speakers. We all listened to it again yesterday, and then another satsang where someone in a blue shirt, nothingness, that also. Mooji, when I'm sitting in satsang, I totally resonate. I'm literally hanging on to every word. But when I come back, zero, nothing in my head.
But should there be something in your head? For the one who is free, not even brain is in their head. They're not even thinking nothing. Why is it but nothing is in my head? Is that a positive statement or is it sort of like, you know,
To carry those nuggets with me?
No, don't carry them. Eat them. We don't carry nuggets unless it's gold nuggets. But nuggets you must eat. Don't carry. If you have to carry, you might forget. You might lose them. You might drop them, you know. And so I don't want to emphasize carry hold on to them. So, no, because the duality there, and I give you almost like I give you a burden, no? Because you have to carry, I've got to go now, I've got to carry, go to the bathroom, I have to carry my stuff. No, it's not carry anything. Leave everything, you know. What if you were to take my words really as I speak them, really seriously? That leave everything, you know. Everything that your mind is suggesting is important. Just leave it for a moment. You know? Can we do that? I have a few moments. I think a few moments can be also really, really, really powerful if you really accept my word. If I were to say, leave everything, leave all your ideas, and take the risk. Because if you want freedom, it's like a risk. Take that risk then. Leave everything. Don't throw it. Because you may say, if I say throw it, you may say, I don't have any strength. I don't have any muscle to throw. So I say, how much muscle you need just to leave things? Meaning, don't cling to anything. Just leave them where they are. Don't have to file them away. Just leave things as they are for a moment. And don't be attached to any, even intention or anything. Don't hold anything. How long it will take you to reach that place? This is a question for everybody, no? How long, if you say, just leave everything, don't hold on to anything, even the most precious thing, for a moment, even to yourself, don't hold on to. You do that and I'll show you freedom, and you will show me freedom. Don't hold on to anything at all. And yet I'm not asking you to suppress your senses. Sensory perception is not a problem. Don't hold on to any concept, even of enlightenment. No? Don't hold on to anything just for a moment, just to try. Afterwards you can go back and pick it up. But let me see if you can do it, even temporarily, for 10 seconds. What is here? What is here? You're not holding on to even a self-description, even that I'm a woman standing here. No, not even this, no, not even that. There's something even more pure than that. Don't hold on to anything at all. Even like, wow, Guruji, this is so nice. No, I don't want any report. Just don't hold on to anything at all. So you're empty, 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 beyond even the concept of being empty. Just everything. And you're not waiting. Don't be waiting for some result. Just be empty. And then I'll ask you one question. What are you suffering from? What is missing even for you? Where is even the need for paradise even? Please tell me. I want to have somebody. My words are simple. I'm not a complex person. So if you don't hold on to anything at all, nothing at all, and don't make a big deal. Just pay attention to what is here when you are not split, you're not divided, you're not in a contact, you're not in a duality. Just even the sense I, don't put anything in it. Don't even put I in it. And tell me, pay attention and tell me what is here. Please, somebody do it and do. Huh? Yes. But even seeing, nobody see nothing. No, see what? No, just you are here. Pay attention only to the thing that, or the no thing that is here. What is it? What is here? Pay attention. What is your environment? Are you happy? Are you sad? Are you excited? Are you bound? Are you free? Even free, you don't need. Even free becomes concept, Yes, I am free. No, to be free, you have to be an I. So earlier than I, earlier than freedom even. What is here? Please somebody tell me, because you confront. Even I am is not there.
Looking at you.
This is already one step out. Stop it. Don't combine with anything at all. We have been talking for years, and now you stop me as I'm going out. I want to go and talk with Amma, but you stop me with a question. I can't go because you say I'm leaving tomorrow. I'm going tomorrow. I'm going home tomorrow. Help me to go home before I go home. Oh my God, my leg is going this way already, and then you've stopped me. Now, with this question, you stop me, and I want to stop you. You stop me, okay, with a challenge, and now I have to stop you. I'm going to stop you. So then don't touch anything at all. Don't touch one concept like I'm here receiving. And no, go beyond every mode of any thinking, any concept. Don't define yourself like, I'm successful, I'm a woman, I lived here, I have problem, I am diabetic, nothing. Don't touch anything at all. Don't touch anything because you were there before any of these things came. So can somebody just hear my simple word? I don't have 4 or 5 teachings to give you. For what the question you asked me is easy for me. I want to see if it's easy for you. You had the courage to ask, do you have the courage to listen to me? Don't touch and don't combine yourself with anything, any concept, even a holy concept.
I feel like emptiness
Yes. Yes, you say emptiness. Yes, don't turn them into words too much. They are even before the words. The words came after, like an afterthought, to say, yeah, it is this. Just don't say anything at all. Be the thing. Yes. And the be is not an instruction. It's not a verb to carry out something. It's a point to what is already just here. Pay attention to that. Is it an object apart from you, what is here? Is it memory? Are you going to need to remember this even? No, it's earlier than memory even, you see. Is it an action to be taken?
You are here.
If you say I am here, you say you are here, okay? But they cannot arise in you the sense of you before the sense of I. Who sees me as you? You see? Because even we say that God is the purest. Yeah? The sense I am emanated from the God principle. Okay? If that is the highest, if the God I am as God is the highest, then why you still refer to God as you? Please help me. You are the one who, you. Why you?
There is no me.
I don't want to hear this. I'm just saying to you, stop. Even I don't want to tell you stop. Because this thing never started to say stop. Can you stay with me in this? Yes. Then I want to know if I have answered your question. And if you not just answered your question, but answered you. Whatever asks this question, has it been satisfied?
Something steady is here.
Yeah. Is it apart from you? Does it need something else to say something steady is here even? It is just what it is. It doesn't need any commentator. Does it need to exercise anything? Or exorcise anything? It just is, no? That. You're that. Knowing this in the way that I'm confronting you to know, just know that and be one with that and live your life and watch it unfold. Watch your life unfold. Feel your life unfolding. And then you'll see the life of God. Don't touch anything. You do this because you are strong enough, brave enough to come and ask this question. Can you take this answer, you see? Otherwise, all you're doing is molesting yourself. Come to this zero beyond even the concept of zero and keep quiet. Don't restrict your senses or your body. And see if you're not able to take care of your child, to look after your house, to do your job. Of course you are able to, because they were never the problem in the first place. Your ego identity has created the problem. And I ask you, don't touch anything. If you don't touch anything, he cannot touch you. So, if I don't have one more thing to say to you, if I don't have one more thing, after swallowed my tongue, I have nothing more to say to you. Is what I've said to you now, is it enough? Yes. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
Good.
Thank you so much for. I'm so happy today you have given me the last.
If you have listened to me, you don't speak tomorrow. There's no tomorrow. You don't need to touch even tomorrow. Let tomorrow show itself to you. You don't have to touch. You don't have to go there. We have a sense that if you don't prepare for tomorrow, it's going to be living on the edge of a chaos. I want you to put it to the test, because the mind is challenging you. If you don't prepare for me, you're going to be in trouble. So I've prepared you, not for the mind, but for you. And see what the mind can do. Just move. Somebody say, come this way. Say, if your heart feels it, go this way. Stop and stop. See if you're like that, if you're vulnerable, and if God has left you. See, and then you can tell me, because I've said this before all of you. Then you can say, Mooji, you lied to me. You made me very vulnerable. But at least experience it and speak from your experience. I'll give you a very simple word. It shouldn't burden you. Because many people are asking questions, but they're not accepting the answers. They're giving it to the mind. The mind goes, well, I don't know about that. So you ask question, they'll give you answer. Then chew and swallow, digest and assimilate what you do. But you don't have to go by anything, because it's like you put food in your mouth, you chew it. Some people tell me you must chew it 40 times. Okay. But once you swallow, it's out of your hands. Another power is taking over. Okay? So you drop yourself and let another power, if there's another power, take care of you. Otherwise, you're just playing with words. Yeah. Om Shri Sadguru Papaji ki. Thank you.
Moojibaba ki.